Good afternoon. It's a beautiful day outside. I'm actually kind of sad I'm inside.
Me too.
Right? It's so nice. Don't you wish we could do this outside?
Yeah.
Awesome. A thing just popped up on my screen. It's annoying. Anyway, it's covering up Charlotte's face. I'm here today with Charlotte. I'm not going to tell you anything about her. I'm going to let her do that. So, Charlotte, thank you for coming today.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm really excited about this.
Yeah.
First of all, tell us who you are, where you're from, etc., what you do.
Okay.
All that kind of stuff.
So, name is Charlotte Holberry, obviously. My company is Eventive. I plan all different kinds of parties, events, corporate events, weddings, anything. Anything
so
fun. It is. I am based out of Auburn, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And I'm actually, fun fact, originally from England.
Really?
Yes, I was born there and
Right.
have a lot of family there, so
How long have you been in the States?
a long time.
I don't detect an accent.
Yeah,
so it
long
must be-
enough to have established an American accent. I went to school here and went back for college and ended up living here and kind of
Nice.
staying here. So, yeah.
So did you watch the royal wedding?
I did.
Yeah.
got some tips from it.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
Yeah. I actually watched it later in the day.
Right.
I didn't get up early and watch it. I streamed it later.
I'm going to make a really big confession right now. I had no idea it was the royal wedding day. I had no idea.
That's okay.
And then I woke up and I'm like looking through Facebook and like every other friend was like, watching the royal wedding. I've got my scones and my tea. And I was like, they got married today? All right.
Yeah.
I've looked at pictures since. I stopped it a little bit.
It was fun. It
Yeah.
was a nice ceremony. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely on a grander scale. I
Right.
think they had over 2,000 guests.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
That's
so-
crazy. I don't
And
even
2
think I know 2,000
receptions,
people.
so
2 receptions.
yeah.
That's not very common.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind doing it
Right.
for someone, but
I was going to say, you're engaged. Are you having 2 receptions?
I'm not. I'm having just one, and that's enough. I also don't have the budget that
Right. Well,
the royal family
You
has.
don't.
So I think it was like 40 million, so.
oh my word.
Mm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so, but it was good.
Wow.
It was really nice, and it was nice. It's new, you know. He's
Yeah.
marrying an American, so
Right?
a nice union,
Mhm.
similar to mine.
Mm-hmm.
Union of an American and an
Right.
English person.
Nice.
So hopefully mine can be the union of an American and English person of 2019.
There you go. You're getting married in 2019?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
So, I have a question.
Yes.
We are going to talk about baby showers, I promise. Do you have a wedding dress and a reception dress?
No,
Okay.
I don't actually have either yet. So I'll probably have one,
Okay.
but yeah, but I don't have anything right now. I know.
Oh, man.
It's kind of like the mechanic that doesn't fix his own car, you know.
Right.
I'm
Right,
focused
like-
on everyone else's event, and mine's kind of got pushed to the back burner. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I,
hire her.
yeah,
It's good customer service right there.
yours gets priority. Yeah, so we'll see what mine ends up like. Yeah, Interesting.
Potluck barbecue in the
Yeah.
backyard. There
you
you go.
know, right. We'll see.
Nice. Okay, awesome. Well, I'm having here today to talk about baby showers.
Yes.
And I have another confession. I'm full of confessions today. I have a baby shower on Saturday for a friend.
Oh, awesome.
And I hate baby showers.
Aw.
I'm not going to lie.
What
Sorry
part of it
if
do
you're
you hate?
watching this. I love celebrating mom. I really do. But baby showers tend to be very forced interaction. They have the cheesy games and
Yeah.
I don't know. I come from a background of like team building, and I was like a ropes course director for years, and
Oh,
like
cool.
all that kind of stuff. And I still hate like the icebreakers at baby showers. Like I understand the want and the need to get people to interact, but it just doesn't work.
I would say it's very similar to like a wedding shower.
I
You
hate
know,
those
in the
too.
sense that it's kind of, I mean, I hate to say this, but sometimes if they're not planned properly, it's more just sit down and watch me open gifts
Mhm.
versus let's make this a fun event for everybody.
Mhm.
And if you don't plan it properly and you just arrive and sit down and then the whole event is just watching people
Right.
open presents, it might not be quite as fun.
Right.
So it is. There's a lot of organization that goes into making it a fun event for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a good lead into like one really important thing is you have to think about everyone else when you're hosting an event. And especially you have to think about the mom-to-be, which a lot of people tend to plan the event as if it was their own. And that's really easy, but it's not your event. It's for the mom-to-be. So you have to really think about what it is that she would want, not what you would want. So if she's a little bit more reserved, your party should reflect that.
Oh, yeah.
And if she's more outgoing, then your party can reflect that. But it's not about you. It's about her. And that's a big part of what I have to do all the time is, you know, their color scheme or their decor might not really be my color scheme or my choice of decor. But if that's what they want, then that's what they want. You know? They're the parents. So.
So I feel like I see this a lot where baby showers are planned by a sister or a best friend who already is a mom. And they have all of these ideas about what needs to happen because it's what they would have wanted to happen.
Yeah.
How do you overcome that? Or how, as a mom-to-be, do you approach that? Do you have any suggestions with your planning person?
Yeah, so honestly, and some people don't like this idea, and I think in today's society, there's so many different ways of doing everything. So there's no right or wrong way, but I really like to include the mom-to-be. It's nice to have some aspects be a surprise, but it's really nice to honestly sit down with her and find out how big or how small she wants it and how she wants the flow of events to go and who she wants to go and what time of the year is going to work best for her. Some people don't want a baby shower before their baby's born. Some people want it after they're born. So I think involving the mom-to-be a lot is definitely a nice thing to do, and I think they'll appreciate it. You can, like I said, you can add surprises in there for her, but it doesn't have to be a total, she shows up and she's wearing like yoga pants and a hoodie, not expecting it, and says, oh great, like this is how I wanted everyone to see me. So I think if you're able to incorporate her a lot, you're going to get aspects that she wants. I mean, we're focusing on the mom, and nowadays a lot of baby showers are mother and father.
Right.
Yeah, and whole families. True. I planned a baby shower where it was the whole family, kids.
Yeah.
You know, teenagers, fathers, mothers, aunts, uncles, everyone. So
nice.
Yeah,
that sounds fun.
Yeah, it was more. They didn't open presents or anything. It was just a celebration.
Right.
There was, you know, it was just a fun party.
Yeah.
They did have activities and favors and stuff, but it was open up to everybody.
Nice.
So it was really nice. It was really nice.
Nice. So, let's get into a little bit of the nitty gritty of like a baby shower. Where do you have it? How do you choose that?
So I think the first place to start would be determining what your budget is. So, you know, if you've got a higher budget, and I'm not even going to throw numbers out because it really ranges.
Depends on the person.
Yeah, it depends on the person. You can definitely have it at a venue or a restaurant.
Restaurant, that's a good place.
Restaurants have function rooms. That makes it easier sometimes just because they already have the food all handled. You don't have to bring in a caterer. A lot of people like to do it in their house, you know, in their living room or in someone else's living room. That makes it more intimate. Once you kind of have determined what your budget is, it will help you really decide. Because obviously having it in your living room versus at a venue where you're going to have the cost of the venue and the food. And a lot of venues don't let you bring in your own food. You have to bring in a caterer's food or you have to bring in theirs. So really just nailing down what your budget looks like and then nailing down how many people you're going to invite. Because if you're planning to invite 50 people and your living room only holds about 30, it's not going to be very fun for your guests if they're all crammed into a small room. So I think you really need to look at those factors before you even figure out where you want to have it. And like I said, a restaurant's a great place. A lot of venues. There's anything from a big grand venue. Hotels usually have spaces. But again, when you go visit them, you need to find out, do they provide the food?
Right.
Can you bring an outside food? If you do bring an outside food, does it have to be a certified caterer, which is typically what they require. It depends where you have it. And those are, there's a lot of good places in Central Mass.
Right.
I don't want to name too many because I don't want to be, picking my preferences. Right. But there are definitely some beautiful spaces, especially in the Worcester area. There's a ton of great spaces, great pricing. And a lot of people do have their baby showers out there, so they're very comfortable doing them, and they're very confident, know what they're doing. So
nice. I have a million places going through my head. Every time you mention a place, I'm like, oh, that's a good place. Oh, that's a good place. So I'll throw some out. In Worcester, specifically, I think I've never been to an event in here, but I always hear about it, is the White Room at Crompton Collective.
Yeah.
Birch Tree Bread Company, which is upstairs there. I don't know if they do events. I think they do, actually. And then there's the Beechwood Hotel.
Yes.
They've
got a lot of function rooms in their space. Yeah.
And they have a restaurant there that's really good, or at least they used to. I don't know if it's still
there. It was Ceres, and now it's Sonoma.
Oh, they changed. I got my husband to eat lamb for the first time in Ceres Bistro.
Oh, really?
It was really delicious. Yeah. And then, in Northborough, you've got C'est La Vie. They do fun events. I had a couple
in Northborough, there's also, Pepper's Catering Company.
Right.
They do a lot of...
Table. What is it? It's art something. They do catering. Anyway.
Pepper's Artful Events.
Oh, is that what it is? It's Peppers. Okay, there you go. I always see the sign on the road.
They do some good catering. There's some great caterers in the area, too. Yeah. So, if anybody ever needs a caterer or a venue, just let me know what your budget is, and I will be happy to send some your way.
Perfect.
I'm going to get 50 emails.
Right? Perfect.
That's fine.
Yeah. Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I have an obsession with Chick-fil-A nuggets.
Never done one there.
You can get food cater. Yeah, they cater.
Oh, there you go.
And where else was the other one? I went to a bridal shower once, and they got food from Moe's or something. I don't remember where it was, but
oh, that's cool.
Sorry, I've got to get something off my screen. Anyway, there's all sorts of places. Be creative.
Yeah.
There's lots of really creative spaces. And I know, personally, my baby shower was here at my home. I loved it because first baby, you get a ton of stuff, and some of it's really big. And it was awesome to not have to move it then. It was already in my home.
Where's the one you're going to this weekend?
At somebody else's house. Okay. So not at the mom's house. I think it's either her sister's house or her mother's house.
Yeah.
So
that's very common.
Yeah.
For people to have it in their homes. It's nice, and people can relax and make themselves comfortable. It's funny you should mention the gift aspect, because that kind of, if you are hosting the party, it's kind of upon you, or at least you, to find someone to help track the gifts when they're opening them, to kind of keep track of who gave the person what, so if they want to send a thank you card after. And what I like to say is, if you can kind of group them together, so as they're opening, if it's a gift for the mom, put it in one bag, and if it's a toy, put it in another bag, and if it's a book, put it somewhere else. That way, when she kind of takes them home, they're already kind of categorized for her to put away, or
that's so smart.
For dad to put away.
You're a genius.
And it just kind of eliminates that extra step, because, as you know, when you're pregnant,
there's too many other things to do.
Yeah.
I'm not good at organization either, so when we got stuff, it just got piled, and then I would eventually go through piles, but some of the stuff I didn't go through until after my daughter was born.
Yeah.
And it's cute little outfits that she's already grown out of, because I just didn't see it before, because it was in the bottom of a pile of dishes or something, something random. So
I know it's tough, but
that's such a smart idea.
Yeah. And you were just talking about opening things after. It's actually totally fine for you to write your thank you cards after the babies come. Because I tend to suggest that you host the baby shower a month or two before the due date. You don't want any unexpected visitors popping out in the middle of a baby shower.
It would be an eventful baby shower. My water
I know. That would be funny. So I tend to say, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, that's a great time. You can, like I said earlier, nowadays you can really do whatever you want. It's traditionally, 4 to 8 weeks is great, but you can do it even earlier. Again, this is a great time to ask the mother when's going to work well for you. Like, how are you feeling? If she's not feeling very well, she's not going to want to sit around a ton of people and open gifts. If you want it after, and a lot of people do that for religious purposes, and then you can write the thank you cards after the baby's born, up to about, I want to say, they say that 2 months after the baby's born is acceptable, as people understand you have a lot going on. Another fun tip while we're talking about thank you cards, at the baby showers, you can actually buy the thank you cards in advance and have all the envelopes out and ask the guests to write their addresses right on the envelopes while they're there.
Yeah.
Just then it's one less step. So when she writes her thank you cards, they're already ready to go. She just has to write them and slip them right in the envelope. I mean, it's to celebrate the baby, but you don't want to create more of a hassle too. So making her life easier is what it's all about. So
I have another confession.
Yeah.
Tip for writing thank you cards for weddings or baby showers. If you come up with some kind of like form letter, and then you can just fill in little details like, thank you so-and-so for attending my baby shower. I loved seeing you. And, I can't wait to use the XYZ.
Yeah.
Yada, yada. Like, it makes life so much easier.
Yeah. And I'm a huge, huge advocate of handwritten cards. If you're able to do it, writing one out versus an email, it's just, in that sense, I'm very traditional.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I like it.
So if you have they made the time to come and get you the gift and think about you. So just takes 5 minutes to write a thank you card and tell them that you appreciate it. Yeah. So.
Thinking of things you get in the mail, invitations. Talk to me about invitations.
Okay.
What's proper etiquette? How do you decide on
who to bring?
Yeah,
so
all sorts of stuff.
Invitations, what I'm seeing a lot of recently is emailed invites. That's a personal preference. I can't really tell you what's right or what's wrong. It's up to that person. And again, in today's society, different things go. I would say give your guests around 3 to 6 weeks notice. Depends, use your common sense. If they're traveling pretty far, even longer is probably appreciated. But if you're mailing them out, a lot of people that do the email invites, sometimes it's because of a time frame they're on, and they'd rather email them than wait for them to arrive in the mail, cause if you're ordering them and all that.
Yeah.
As far as inviting people, again, it comes down to your budget and what you can afford. And the guest of honor, is she somebody that's going to want a ton of people, or is she somebody that's going to want just intimate family and friends? So talking to her about that. And then where your space, how many people you can host in that space that you're using. And that's a really good question to ask your venue is,
what's my max?
Yeah, what's my max? I would say that as far as sending out invitations and creating that guest list, if you're a close friend, you're probably going to have a good idea of who to invite as far as family and friends. But just share it with a couple people. The guest of honor is obviously a great
Right.
person to show it to first. But if it is a surprise, her mom, to make sure the family members are on there, and her sister, and her significant other, really
Right.
great people just to check in with and make sure that there's nobody missing.
Yeah.
Because that could be awkward.
Yeah. That's another one of the awkward parts of a baby shower for me, or bridal showers, that it's people from all of that person's life, all over. And it's like, well, I know this one slice.
Yeah.
And if no one else from that slice is there, it's like, hi.
I know.
I don't know any of you.
I know.
So, anyway. Decorations.
The sky's the limit. I mean, I'm obsessed with Pinterest, so
Right.
if you don't know how to decorate your baby shower, I highly recommend Pinterest. And if you don't know what Pinterest is,
Look it up.
yeah, you're missing out.
You need it in your life.
Yes, definitely. I've seen so many different themes from, actual, storybooks, nursery rhymes, color scheme themes, so yellow and gray, or a floral baby shower, or there's so many beautiful ways to decorate and have a theme. A theme definitely helps you plan. Sometimes it gives you inspiration for your invitations and your food and your drinks and your, whatever. So it can definitely actually help you a lot if you do have a theme to go with. But again, make sure that theme is something that relates to the mother, because you don't want to have a luau crazy baby shower if she can't stand
pig.
Yeah, she doesn't like that kind of thing.
I do.
So.
Except I eat everything.
But the flower one is, if she's kind of into outdoorsy stuff, you can do flowers and
woodland animals.
Yeah. And I've seen really cute favors where it's time and it says it's about time on a little marker with the due date, and everybody gets to take time home, which I'm also a huge fan of useful favors. Either something they can actually use in the future, or something, even if it's a dessert bar and they can just get some desserts and eat them, and that's their favor. I'm a big fan, whether it's a birthday party or a wedding or a baby shower, in a favor that you can actually use and not going to get stuck in your junk drawer. So.
Right. I think with one of my baby showers, it was a candle wrapped in they wrapped it in paper that had the theme on it.
Oh,
it was
cute.
Zoo animals or something. I don't remember.
That's cute.
Yeah, it was pretty cute. And then you could just take the wrapper off. You have a
candle.
And
that's useful. Everybody loves candles. I do. I love candles.
Yeah.
Too much. Yeah, so I think.
So search Pinterest. Baby shower favors that are useful.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, just search baby shower favors and you'll be there for 10 hours. Just kind of look through them. You'll have 20 by the end and not be able to pick which one you want. I mean, that's the problem with Pinterest, is there's so many ideas on there that it might get overwhelming.
It is overwhelming. Prepare to be sucked in. If you've not seen Pinterest before, seriously, you will get lost and you'll lose hours when you first discover it.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great for me. I mean, I know a lot of planners that aren't huge fans of it because it sometimes can set an unrealistic expectation. Hey, look at this baby shower that Kourtney Kardashian had or Khloe Kardashian had, and that's what I want. Oh.
So what is it about that baby shower that you love?
Yeah.
Try to tease that out of them. If they get there.
It's I don't think people, I know because I do it, so I can look at a party now, and in my head I know what the budget probably looks like. And I don't think everybody can do that, which is fine. So sometimes it's just setting realistic expectations up front. We can't have a wall of roses for that unless your budget is set for that. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have a smaller budget, what are some corners that you can cut?
Well, like I said before, you can definitely have it at home. That's not, you could You can do buffet style. There's nothing wrong with asking some of the guests that are closer to the mom to bring some food. You can do DIY decorations. You don't need, as much, I'm a huge fan of flowers, but you don't need to go out and hire someone to do, elaborate flower, floral centerpieces or anything. There's a lot of beautiful DIY decorations you can do just by going to a local craft store. Even the dollar store, it's amazing what you can create with some props that you pick up at the dollar store. So you can certainly do that. And I think as a host too, and this is really dependent on how you feel about it, but that's your gift to the mom to be. And I think a lot of hosts don't think that through, and they end up funding the party and getting a gift. And if that's what you want to do and you can do that, that's absolutely fine. But in my opinion, if you just hosted that whole party, that's a gift in itself. And I think that goes a long way with the mother, the thought behind all of it.
I remember being shocked, again, with my baby shower, that one of my cousins that hosted, she decorated with these cute onesies, she had them hanging in clotheslines across the house, and it was really adorable. She's very thoughtful. But then, she gave me a gift, and I got all the decorations, which were actual useful things. And I was like, you planning this was a gift? Are you kidding me? I was shocked that I was not expecting it as a mother. It was not expected at all.
It was nice.
So, right. It was very sweet. She's a very sweet person.
Aww.
So, yeah. If your budget is such that you need to limit some things, what are some corners that you shouldn't cut?
Shouldn't cut. Okay. You need food. Food. I'm
in my language.
I know. I need food. I would be very miserable if I showed up and there was no food.
Even if it's not over a mealtime.
Yeah. There needs to be snacks. It does not need, I'm not saying go out and hire a caterer to come in and do these fancy past hors d'oeuvres. I'm just saying there needs to be something to snack on. And that is a good point. If it is maybe don't have it right over lunchtime. Don't have it from 10 until 1 or 11 till 2 if you're not planning on serving a substantial amount, because people are going to be hungry. And, so if you don't want to provide a meal, that's absolutely fine, but maybe take that into consideration when you're coming up with a time frame. But you can buy snacks and stuff and do that. Other corners not to cut. Checking with people. Well, that doesn't have anything to do with budget. I would say a big one is the food and drink. Nowadays there's so many different agendas for a baby shower that there are a lot of things you can and can't do. Like I was mentioning earlier, you don't have to have the whole sitting down and opening the gifts. That's optional. That's up to you. And you don't have to have all the games. That's up to you again. But I think food and drink is consistent throughout all of them. So whether you're having games or not, just having something for people to snack on. And definitely the beverages.
Don't serve alcohol at a baby shower. Mom,
you can have mocktails.
Right.
You can have mocktails.
That is okay. And fun.
Yes. Yeah, and you can tie your food in with the theme. That's always a cute thing to do, too. Again, Pinterest.
Right.
Just search for it. So that would be a corner not to cut. You could do away with the favors.
Yeah.
If you want to do favors, great. People will appreciate them, but they're not necessary. You don't need to get a gift. People aren't going to get a present back. They're going to be supportive.
Right.
So that's an area where you could eliminate that. I feel if you were trying to be cost efficient.
Excuse me. Sorry.
It's okay.
Let's talk a little bit about timeline of a baby shower. What's a reasonable amount of time to plan, and what kind of things should you be doing in that time?
Okay, so
what's your ideal, I guess? Because it could be anything.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, once you have the date, it's good to give your guests a significant amount of time to plan for it, and if they need to get babysitters, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. So, like 6 weeks-ish. Mm-hmm. Again, use your best judgment, decide how far they're coming, how much time they're going to need. Figure out your budget and your venue and who's going to come. Mm-hmm. Make sure that's written on your invitation. If men are invited and kids are invited, let people know, because traditionally it was women. Right. So people are going to assume that's who's getting invited. So sending out the invitations as soon as you can. On the RSVPs, I personally prefer when it just is RSVP by a date versus regrets only, because if somebody forgets to RSVP, which happens all the time, you're
guilty.
Yeah, me too.
I've got 3 little kids. I have a little bit of an excuse, but
I know I do.
I did that before.
I don't have children. Yeah. So I prefer just to say RSVP. That way, they're contacting you regardless, and if they don't contact you because they forgot, you can reach out to them. Mm-hmm. Whereas when you have regrets only, if they've forgotten, you're assuming they're coming, and there might be 20 people that forgot, and now your food's off by 20. Right. So I personally like to do RSVP by a date. Yeah. Sending out your invitations, book your venue pretty soon if you're having it outside of your house. Book your caterer if you're getting a caterer, because they fill up really quickly.
Especially this time of year, graduation parties, weddings, etc.
Yeah, so I would consider doing that as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. The theme's kind of nice to pick sooner rather than later, because you can do your invitations around that theme. Mm-hmm. And then after that, it's your own timeline when you can do things. So the decor and stuff like that can be done when you're comfortable with it. I mean, the sooner you do it, the less, it's off your plate and you don't have to think about it. A week before, I like to check in with any vendors that I have coming in. So just confirming with the caterer, the venue. The venue is probably going to want a final head count. The caterer is going to want a head count. So just checking in, saying we're still good for this time, on this date, this amount of people, whatever. So that's what you want to do about a week beforehand. That's something when I do events, I help organize all that, confirmations, things like that. And then on the day, as far as the day of timeline, I like to make sure it's not too long, the actual baby shower.
How long is too long?
I think 3 hours is a good amount of time. Okay. And then if it's at the house and people want to, the mom and the grandma want to stick around, that's fine. But I think 3 hours is a good rule of thumb for the amount of time. Gives people time to show up a little late. Mm-hmm. If you're doing any activities or games, or if you're having a meal, some people have a meal, if you're having snacks, and then for the mom to open her gifts, and then people. And I would definitely 100% recommend writing your timeline down. So going, even if it's every 15 minutes from 11 to 2, and just saying what you're going to be doing every 15 minutes, just so you can keep it on time. Because if you're off, if you start playing a game or something and you want it to last 20 minutes and for some reason it turns into an hour, now your party's going to if you don't start opening your presents an hour before you have to be out of a venue, you might run short on time, and nobody wants to be interrupted in the middle of opening the gifts and told they have to get out because there's another party coming in. So no, I'm sure it's happened. Not on my parties.
Good.
Because I kept on time. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to obviously adhere to it 100%, but just to give yourself a good idea. And it also allows people that have never planned one before to say, oh, I can't fit all these things that I wanted into this time span.
That's a good point. If you're not familiar with you can come up with all these ideas we want to do this and this and this and this, but if it doesn't all fit into the time you have allotted.
Yeah, and I wouldn't try and like cram tons of activities into the 3-hour time because people don't want to. And you know, a lot of people start their timeline like, oh, my event starts at 11, so our first activity is going to be again at 11. Well, how many parties have you been to where everybody shows up right at the rest of the time?
None.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, maybe I count for the first 45 minutes or whatever you're comfortable with of having it like free time where people can network and socialize and do whatever they want. Or maybe you have an activity station and if they want to go participate in the activity, they can. But if they aren't into that kind of thing, they can stand and talk. So I usually like to leave that in the beginning of a baby shower. And then you can do your food or your gifts or whatever. And I think with the gifts, it's really nice to tie that in with some sort of activity too, if you are going to do your gifts. Because as we talked about earlier, sometimes just sitting watching someone open gifts, as nice as it is for people to see what you got and what.
It's exciting for you. It's not so exciting for everyone else.
So if you can turn it into a game, like a gift bingo or something, then at least it ties it in with the guests too. So, I mean, that's a general idea of the timeline. I use Excel. That's all. I just plug the times down one column, the activities, anything else I need in another column, and then, you know, if you have a planner, they'll do that for you, but they can send it out to your caterer, and if you have any music or something, they can send it out to everyone so everybody can see exactly what's happening at what time, when food's going to start, and when dessert's going to start, or whatever you're doing.
Dessert. Again, speaking my language.
Yeah, I know. Cake. Cupcakes.
So would you recommend having, you said music in there, like if you're having music like a DJ or a band or whatever is what I assume you meant, but would you recommend having something playing in the background? Like even if you're having it in your home, whatever, or any venue, is that helpful or does that make it harder to hear for activities?
I think you'd have to kind of judge it based on where you're having it, but I think all the ones I've planned and attended have had something just in the background. Nothing huge, but just background noise. Especially when you walk in for the first few people that arrive.
So there's not
something.
just quiet.
And people do chit-chat throughout the gifts. It's not like everybody's sitting and not talking. Everybody kind of has their own little conversations. So I think it's all right. I think it's nice. It kind of livens the mood and sets the tone for the day or evening or whenever you have it. So but and if you're having a big event with tons of people, and you're going to do organized activities, it might even be worth having a microphone or something, because to round up that many people, sometimes a microphone can be very helpful.
Right. Bullhorn.
Yeah. I mean, again.
I was kidding about Bullhorn, but she's like, I'm not.
No. Traditions totally changed. Yeah, so, I mean, again, if you have 20 people, you do not need a microphone. But if you're doing a big family affair, and everybody's so different now. I see so many different things that it's nice. It's really nice. Yeah. You know, you don't have to adhere to these rules that you can make it personal and make it how you want it, or how your guest wants how the guest of honor wants it.
So let's circle back to my first confession, second confession today of I have a baby shower this weekend. Confessing that I don't like the games. If I'm planning a baby shower for somebody and mom also doesn't want games, because it's not about me, it's about mom. I learned that today. How can I plan a 3-hour block of time, make sure that people are comfortable without doing cheesy icebreaker games? Do you have any suggestions?
So what is it about the games that you don't like? I think that would be the first. I feel like I'm a therapist.
Right?
So
let me
tell me what you don't like about the games.
I don't like the forced interaction. So when I'm leading a group of people on the ropes course or for wilderness trip or whatever it may be, like Sure, I like the forced interaction because they're going to be together for
Mhm.
X amount of time. They need to work together. For something like a baby shower, it just seems overkill, annoying.
Yeah, so you don't like the, like, ones where it's like, okay, everybody stop what you're doing. We're going to
Yes.
play a game.
I could be having a great conversation with somebody, and I don't want to stop and, like...
Right. So if you and the mom don't like those things, because I've seen people that don't like them, but I've seen tons of people that are like, we want games. Like, I want games. I just want to fill the whole thing with games. And it's everybody's, it's a personal preference thing. Obviously, having the food and the drinks, and that's socializing is going to take up some part of the time. Opening the gifts takes up a good chunk of time. You can have activities, again, like I mentioned, so it's not really a forced thing. It's there if you want it, and if you choose not to participate in the activities. So when I talk about activities, I'm not really meaning, like, games. I'm talking more like, I don't know if you've seen, like, when they design a headband for the little girl to wear later, or something like that.
I've done drawing onesies.
Yeah, drawing on onesies is a great one. I've seen one where it's like late night messages to mom on diapers. Have you seen that? So you write, like, really funny little comments on the diaper, and then it goes into a basket, and when she has to go up in the middle of the night with the baby, she has, like, a fun little message to read, just to kind of give her something to smile about when she's up at 4 a.m.
And 2 and midnight.
Yeah.
And 10.
I don't have kids. I don't know. Yeah. Looking forward to it. So, I mean, that's another activity where if somebody doesn't want to do it, that's fine. Yeah. But it's there for them to do. I'm trying to think of some more that I've seen.
Pinterest.
Yeah. Yeah,
you can find anything on Pinterest.
Yeah.
I feel like we should be, like, getting paid by Pinterest today or something.
I know.
Commission.
They still can. Eventive, Charlotte. Let's go. So those are activities, again, where it's not really a game. So it's not forced on anyone. It's just there. Especially if you get there, let's say you're a college roommate and you don't know anyone because it's back in her hometown, so you've never met any of these people. You don't want to walk in, and maybe if you're shy, you don't want to just start talking to people. So it gives you something to do. It is a bit of an icebreaker if you're sitting next to someone coloring on a onesie or something like that. So
that's a good point.
It is nice to have something, unless it's some people have just done where it's just family and really close friends, and it's 15 people, and in that case, maybe just turn it into a brunch or something, and sit around a table and enjoy food and open a few gifts, and you might not need activities, but if it is going to be a larger group where there are going to be people that don't know each other, some sort of activities is nice just to give people something.
I did a baby sprinkle for a friend of mine once. It was her.
You should explain what that is, because I don't think everybody is going to know what a sprinkle is.
Right. Baby shower is like rain shower, like you're getting wet. Like sprinkle, you don't quite get so wet. Baby shower, you're getting, like, all the things you really need for first baby. Or hopefully. Like, that's kind of the point of it, is to help get you set up for your first baby. A sprinkle, in my case, it wasn't because of this, actually. But it can be because, like, your first was a girl and you know you're having a boy next or something. So you need, like, different clothes, or it's just, like, a couple of things. Get together, celebrate mom and the new coming baby. It can, even if you have, like, a girl and you're having another girl, it could be the same thing. Like, just kind of
it's usually your second child, typically. It's if you already have maybe a crib and the stroller and a lot of the necessities. It's usually a lot smaller. Not always, but typically the shower is kind of like everyone. And a sprinkle might just be a much smaller group with a smaller registry, if a registry at all. And because you don't need as many things. And you're more experienced. And still very exciting. You're still having a child and you still want to celebrate. party.
What I did for this one, I think it was her third actually, but she had lived in Pennsylvania for her first two. And so I was like, you're my best friend. This is where you grew up. Like, let's do something. So it was really small. And we did a pampering day.
Oh, that's
so we had
nice.
I did all homemade scrubs and I had hot towels, just so
Perfect.
I was also pregnant, so it's kind of for me too. Not gonna lie.
You don't have to be
I'm
pregnant
full
to...
of confessions today, you guys. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it was just a really fun, we got to relax. There was a really small group of people. We did give her some gifts, but it was just really chill. We had food, just snacks that you would, I don't know, little finger foods and just spa things that you could do yourself. So if you wanted to do them, you could. And then we made sure to paint her nails, her toenails, and because when you're pregnant, you can't really reach your toes very well.
Oh,
that kind of stuff. So it was
that
really fun.
Nice. Yeah,
right?
yeah. Any reason to party. That's
right.
my motto.
Whoop, whoop.
Whatever you can do.
Nice.
So
awesome. So before we end, I'm going to tell you guys, if you're watching, if you have any questions for Charlotte, now is your time to type those out so we can answer them before we're done, because we're getting close to the end here. You own Eventive.
Mm-hmm.
You do all sorts of party planning, event planning, not just party. Our events party. Is that
they're all
the
parties.
same?
Yeah.
So even corporate stuff,
Yeah, I mean, they
it's
might not call it parties, but I'll call them parties. I make them a party.
Nice.
Yeah.
How far out does somebody need to contact you if they want to, do a baby shower and they're like, I'm in charge of this, but I have no idea what to do. I need to hire someone.
Yeah. I would just say contact me as soon as possible. I don't have to help with the whole thing.
Yeah.
So if somebody's already planning on it and they're like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? I'm so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I can come in and finish up.
Okay.
I can do consultations where I just sit down with people over coffee and just say, hey, so what have you done so far? What do you want to do? Let me put together your timeline for you. Let me tell you which vendors contact. Hey, here's what you're forgetting about. I don't have to do. A lot of people, I think, feel like hiring a planner is such a...
It's like a start
luxury.
To finish.
Well, yeah, and it's like a luxury.
Yeah.
And that's not the case with me. I can work with people that want me to do the whole thing. Absolutely, I've done it. But if you just want a little bit of advice here and there, you can absolutely do consultations too. And
it never even occurred to me that you could do an event planning consultation.
Yeah.
I just always thought it was I want to have this party. Can you just do it for me?
Right. No.
That's awesome.
I mean, I think that's how a lot of people do it, but
okay.
I like to. Well, I do a lot of wedding planning consultations. Mm-hmm. So a lot of brides nowadays are, because of Pinterest,
right?
Another plug. They want to do it all themselves, and that's fine. But there are a lot of aspects to it that they forget about. So just having someone as a sounding board and to say, hey, okay, you forgot about this, and what about this, and did you call this person yet? It's 6 months away. Why haven't you done this yet?
Right.
And just telling them where they should be on their timeline and how they should be doing everything, and answering questions. They come up with questions along the way, and it's nice to have somebody to quickly just send I get texts all the time from brides, who should I call for this? Stuff like that. So,
nice.
Same with baby showers. And so I can absolutely help people with that. It doesn't have to be a start to finish. Yeah. Plus, if you're doing it for your best friend, you kind of want to feel like you did a lot of it. So somebody and actually a big thing people need help with is the day of. Mm-hmm. So you want to be a guest at it. If it's your best friend having the baby, you don't...
It's like a day of wedding coordinator. I love
it. Right. You don't want to be getting up at the crack of dawn to decorate, and then throughout the whole party be running around trying to get all the food and the gifts, and then writing the gifts down and running around, and then you realize you didn't experience any of it with your friend because you were running around. So I do have people that plan the whole thing and then have me just show up and decorate and set everything up and greet people and check on the food and check on everything so that person can sit down and just relax and enjoy the day too.
Nice. You're a professional extrovert.
Yes. I am.
That's a good description of her job.
Yeah.
Professional extrovert.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is really fun. I learned a lot. Like, I was like, I know how to do a baby shower. I've never planned a baby shower. I don't know why I'm like, I know how to do this. I did a spring bill. That's
yeah. And it sounds like it was awesome. I kind of wish I went.
It was. I got the idea
Plan
from
another
someone
one.
else, right? You'll be on my list.
Yes.
Even if you don't know Mom.
It's fine.
She'll be like, who's this random person? I don't like her.
Perfect.
She drinks coffee. She's good.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
mocktails.
Oh, yeah. And mocktails.
Yeah.
See, we didn't think of that for that sprinkle. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect. Awesome.
Just can't drink. Honestly.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you so much. Is there anything that we're forgetting that we should have talked about? Planning a baby shower.
I think we covered a lot. I think there's always,
There's going to be questions.
I'm sure I'll think of something in like
Right.
10 minutes afterwards. Like, oh man. But yeah, there's so many different aspects.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody ever has any questions, they can always reach out to me and I can answer it. But
Awesome.
I think we covered a lot.
Awesome. I will link to her Facebook page in the comments here too, or in the description, whichever one lets me do it. Sometimes it doesn't let me do it in one of those places. So awesome. If you need Charlotte, if you are having any kind of party, if you're pregnant, if you're getting married, call
Adopting.
her. If you're adopting, oh, right. That's amazing.
That's baby shower.
Right? People, I wouldn't think of that.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Awesome. I'm in love already.
Aw.
I want to call her. I'm not even having a party.
Thanks.
So, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank
you. I'll see you guys soon.